December 3rd of 2023. Keith and Sheila, in the fall of 2019, our daughter Ashlyn moved from our home in Illinois to Frisco, Texas for a job.
We attended a couple services at ELC and were immediately inspired by your passion and how your words hit our hearts. Our family were lifelong Lutheran church members. We checked all the boxes by attending church every Sunday, raised our kids with the Word of God, baptizing and confirming them in the church, and serving occasionally at various functions and events. We did not realize, however, how much we were living our faith by default and not by design.
My name is Jeff, and this is my wife of 30 years, Carrie. We were introduced to Elevate Life Church by our daughter, Ashlyn, in September of 2020. We are from Peoria, Illinois. Our life prior to 2020 was much by default, not by design, and we didn't know it. I mean, we thought we were doing all the right things, raising our children in a Christian household. Our kids grew up, they went to college, and one thing that we always encouraged them to do when they went away to school was to find a church home while they were at college. And just so happened that Ashlyn was the one that moved here to Frisco, Texas in the fall of 2019, started attending church, and shortly after, I think in January of 2020, she took an administrative position at the church. Shortly after that, the events of 2020 started to unfold.
China has identified the cause of the
mysterious new virus.
Coronavirus.
There are fears a rapidly spreading virus.
And I think that was probably the biggest shift in us, because as the playing field was leveled and churches shut down, schools shut down, everything just kind of came to a stop. It didn't seem right to us. We were more than frustrated. We were like, there was an energy looming in us somewhere, like, how can this be happening? This isn't real. Like, this is a weakness within inside people, their spirit, their soul. And
I kept saying there has to be other people that feel the same way that we do. We have to find them. It can't just be us that are feeling this way. So
as we were all at home, including on Sundays, we began logging on to ELC to listen to Pastor Keith. It was different. There was just an ignition of something that we always felt was in our soul and in our spirit, and it just started to rise up. And as 2020 continued on, we're from Illinois, so that was one of the last states to open up schools and churches and public gatherings. So as 2020 progressed, and from the moment I heard Pastor Keith say, they're gonna have to drag me away in handcuffs before I shut my church down again, we're like, yes.
Like that's our guy.
This is our guy.
Yeah.
This is him. We're ready. We were literally catching flights just to come to church, to come to Texas, which is crazy. But we would plane tickets for cheap, and we would come to see our daughter and attend Elevate Life Church, and things from that moment on were just different in our lives, and everything started to rise.
How could my eyes have been closed for that long? The landscape changes, and all of a sudden I've got this energy and this spirit, and my eyes are wide open to what's happening in the world that I know is wrong. But how do we find other people that believe the same way we do? And our daughter Ashlyn's like, you got to keep following, you got to keep coming. Pastor Keith he reminds me of Dad, like the same thoughts. And so here we are.
We did a good job raising our children. We did a good job in our church life, but it wasn't the best that we could be, I guess is the best way to say it. We found what was best, so we started pursuing that. And for me personally, an even bigger shift happened. I'm a hard guy to buy a Christmas present for, because I always ask for the same thing every year, and that's nothing from my children. I'm not a present guy, I'm not an award guy, but for Christmas of 2021, I got probably one of the best gifts I'd ever gotten from my children. Sorry. They got me a membership to Mastermind. And I mean, it changed my life.
And after a full year of Mastermind, he kept saying to me, I want you to do this with me next year. This is something we need to do together. He said, my thoughts are so much clearer, my visions for where I want to be. I'm talking 10 years, 15 years, we're talking generational, we're talking kingdom.
I didn't want to live another day from that moment on without establishing and knowing my core values were. I work in the automobile business, which is arguably one of the most restricted supply chain markets that incurred the most challenge during that time period. But I started thinking differently based on what Pastor Keith was saying. I started challenging myself to think more about relationships and less about what I was doing at my job. Our sales in the period of 2 years since I've joined Mastermind have doubled. Our staff has doubled, and we're defying all the principles of what was supposed to be happening in the marketplace. And I don't go to work the same way that I used to. I have 21 things that are on my mind that are more important: my relationship with God, my relationship with my wife, my relationship with my children, my relationship with my family, being my very best for God, living up to my God-given potential, excellence, personal growth and development, positive attitude, and great health. Those are my top 10. So I have 21 things that are on my mind that are on the top of my list before I go to work every day. And isn't it amazing that our business has doubled since I stopped thinking about work?
Let's write a letter. Let's just tell them. Hopefully they find it. Hopefully it gets to them. Hopefully they'll receive the picture and know that that's how much that they mean to us. And even if it's just for a day or for a moment, I think it's important to express your gratitude for people who have, clearly changed our lives.
We're 800 miles from home, so that really means a lot for us to know that she's in great hands. But we are very excited and joyed that we can say that Elevate Life Church is our home from Illinois.